everyone. Welcome to Tales from the Bluff, the only podcast that LMU has.
Yeah.
Is that how we're going to introduce it? I don't think we should. I don't think that's
We
funny.
don't have another podcast?
Well, I don't know.
I thought the radio show did.
What is it?
I have no idea.
Okay, well...
The only known podcast on campus.
Yes.
I'm your host, Alex.
I'm David, your other host.
And today on this show, we have a special guest, as will be the case for every week. The infamous Jake Laubach.
That's me.
Who...
Introduce yourself.
Yeah, introduce yourself, Jake.
Talk about you.
Hey, well, my name's Jake. I'm a sophomore here at LMU. This year, I'm going to be involved in the student housing office as an RA, and then I also am going to continue my career in rowing because I'm on the crew team, and that's going to be real fun.
All right, how's that been recently?
Tell us about boats.
Well, boats are pretty cool. When I came here to LMU, I got the email that everyone gets about, like, we want you for rowing. And I'm
nice.
like, you want me? I'm like, no way. Yeah, so I didn't have any rowing experience outside of high school. Out of college, I did swimming and water polo all throughout high school, and then I kind of was craving that team connection on campus. So I walked onto the crew team, and it's been a fun time.
Mm-hmm. You said something at some point about how you were like one of the better walk-ons on the team. Do you think that's still true?
Wow. Okay, so we're just gonna expose me like this. Like that.
Well,
Thank you.
I mean, we've talked about this before outside of the podcast.
Sure.
And a lot of your sort of being an RA is a very busy job.
Yes.
And being on the crew team is also a big time commitment.
That is true.
So we've talked about how like you would feel like the team would be losing something pretty crucial if you had to sacrifice that.
Everyone on the team is a crucial part of the team.
Good answer.
Yeah, but it's hard because there's only so many seasoned boats, and there's only like so many people we can take to the meets, the regattas, and things like that. So.
Wait, sorry, explain that term.
Yeah, explain it.
Yeah, so a regatta is kind of our term for a race.
Okay.
So every race that we go to, it's called a regatta, and we typically, it depends on the race. Some of them, we've had like just individual races between just us and UCLA or us and UCI. And then we have bigger scale ones where it's like pretty much all of the crew teams on like the West Coast and things like that.
Damn.
Yeah.
So are you all racing it against each other at the same time?
Yeah, more or less. Okay. So there's typically, it depends on like the size of the regatta, but I've been in ones where we just have 10 boats lined up across, and then they just send us off, and we just dog it down the course. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And how long does a race usually last?
Typically it's 2,000 meters.
So not that long.
Well, 2,000 meters on a boat is a little bit different. So, it's 7 minutes if you're slow. If you're like us, we can get a little bit down. So we're like 6:30. Yeah.
Go LMU.
So it's pretty fun, but it's unlike anything that I've ever done. Because in all the other sports, like if you need a timeout, if you need a break, you can just like yell at the coach and they can give you a timeout or a break. But once that clock starts for crew, like you don't have an option to stop. You're one man and like an 8-person boat plus maybe a coxswain who could be a female. But stopping's not an option.
Sorry. What was that term?
Oh, so sorry. So a coxswain. So there's typically the boats that we race are 8 people rowers. So there's 8 people with oars that are physically exerting their force into the water.
Okay.
And then there's one coxswain. The coxswain's a male or a female, and they sit in the boat, and their job is steering and like making sure that the boat's together.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So do you have a female coxswain on you?
We do.
On the men's walk-on team?
On the men's team, we do have a female coxswain.
Okay.
Her name's Mackenzie Wilson.
Okay. Shout out. Name drop.
That's right. She was a rower. She was actually she was the one with the oar for like 2-3 years in high school. She had some experience. But she decided to kind of step away from that and become a coxswain for us. Okay. So it's been a really fun experience. It was her first year being a coxswain last year, and the first year for me being on the crew team along with all the other guys, a lot of the majority of the guys. So it was a very steep learning curve.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like something you said a little bit earlier. Oh God, what were we talking about?
I don't know what.
Well, so like with you're kind of used to the clock starts and you go nonstop with swimming, right? But you primarily did water polo in high school.
Yes and no. I did 4 years of swimming and then 2 years of polo.
Oh.
But I took polo
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
okay.
I took polo a little bit more seriously.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but like swimming, like if something happens, like you can stop and that's on you, and like you don't have to beat up anyone but yourself. But if you like stop in a boat, then you just completely ruin everyone in that boat's experience, right? So,
Dang. Man, that's tough.
Yeah.
Okay, so like the terms like coxswain and
regatta. There you go.
Those.
Like
where do those?
ricotta
Yeah,
cheese.
like where do those come
Yeah,
from?
right.
Like
Who
where
invented
did
them?
where did crew start? Like, do you
Yeah.
know much about the history of the
Who
school?
first sailed a boat?
Yes, I have no idea, to be honest.
Okay.
But I do know that men's crew was one of actually like the first sports, because we're not part of NCAA.
Like the first
Like,
sports
sports
ever?
ever.
Yeah, so men's crew just as a sport isn't part of NCAA.
Yeah.
And that's just because like it's
For any
crew team, just like the sport itself isn't, because I guess like way back in the day they didn't agree with like some of the terms that the NCAA was putting out.
Interesting.
So they just decided to do their own thing. So
Political stance.
yeah. But it's pretty cool. It's a fun experience. It's like it's not something that I was expecting out of my college experience, because I didn't come to LMU for the crew team. It just kind of happened to line up like that. But it's given me so many different opportunities, and it's pushed me to be like a person that I didn't know was possible to be. So
That's good.
it's a fun time.
So, and that's why you want to stick with it, is because you feel like that's going to continue to happen for you?
Yes and no. I also want to really give back to the program.
Okay,
Because
that makes sense.
I learned a ton my freshman year, just kind of like learning what a boat is and what crew is and what like kind of crewmates are to each other. And especially like a lot of the older guys who had a lot of experience just kind of like taught us how to be rowers.
Yeah.
And I really want to give back, because every single year the way the men's crew team works at LMU is like our future really is with like the walk-ons that come in every single year.
Yes.
So we're going to get a group hopefully of like 15, 20 guys was like what we're hoping for. And a lot of them aren't going to have any experience in a boat at all. And so kind of giving back to the whole team in general and just like teaching them how to be rowers is really why I want to stick with it
Okay.
for a little
That's
bit.
really admirable.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a lot of work. I think I also tore my tricep.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was. We were doing this like fitness test thing where it was like a timed thing where we were being ranked against each other, and it was on Drollinger soccer fields.
Okay.
And the whole thing is like you have to do it as fast as you can. So it was 4 laps around the soccer field, then 50 push-ups, and then like leapfrogs from one end to the other, then 75 sit-ups, and then bear crawls from the soccer fields, like one end to the other again, and then we topped it around with like 4 more laps.
Okay.
So it was a lot, and like the way I do my push-ups is like I keep my elbows in, so it's
that's
a
like
lot
that's like
of
the tricep push-up. Yeah.
yeah, and I didn't realize how much strain it would like put on it, and like in the moment I didn't really fully understand what was happening, but I felt it was the weirdest sensation I've ever felt. It almost felt like someone like had their hand reached into my arm and was playing my tricep like a freaking harp.
Oh my god.
Like I felt every single like fiber in my muscle just kind of like.
That's disgusting.
Yeah. And so like, and I didn't really think of it much, and then like my whole entire body was sore just from the whole workout for like the past couple of days, and everything has recovered pretty slowly.
Okay.
But my right tricep has not.
Okay.
And I literally can't. I like can't put a fork to my mouth to eat.
my god.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Wait, so have you gone to SHS yet?
So we have an athletic trainer that deals with all like the athletic injuries.
Oh.
He's a really cool guy. Name?
What's his name?
Oh my gosh, I know his name. I was just saying. It'll come back to me. But he's a really cool guy.
Name drop.
Name drop.
So I'm gonna get it checked out tomorrow. Hopefully, I'm thinking it because like, wouldn't that make sense anatomically if it was a tear? Like if I felt like some.
Yeah.
force
You're the health
acting
and human
force.
sciences major.
Yeah, I don't know. So we're hoping. Steve. His name is Steve.
Steve.
Yeah.
Shout out to
Shout out to
Steve.
Shout out to Steve. But we'll see. Hopefully it's not a tear because that would kind of tank
Yeah, that would suck.
my training program.
Okay. Wow, that seems pretty brutal. And
Yeah.
when are you getting your walk-ons?
So that process is taking a little bit longer this year because we have a new
Coach.
like it's not even a new coach. We have an entire new coaching staff.
Oh.
So not one coach that was there last year returned because the head coach had a pregnancy, had a baby, and then wanted to start life elsewhere. And so she left the program, and then the new head coach that came in decided to cut everyone else out and start anew. But it's a really good new. It's like The men's program hasn't had a whole lot of stability in the past years. I think for the past 6 years, we've gotten a new coach every single year.
Like Harry Potter.
Like
Yeah.
Harry Potter. So
Defense against the dark arts.
our new coach, Coach Julia, we've only worked with her for a week, but she really seems like she has like a sustainability kind of mindset towards the team, which is really nice.
That's
and
good.
it's something that we need.
Love sustainability.
Yeah, but we're pretty excited for that.
Okay.
Did you ask a question? I feel like you
I asked a question about the new recruits.
Oh, yes. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so the new coaching staff didn't really like think of the recruits and like the whole process. So typically we have like a booth at EXP Fest and we take emails and then the tryout process starts, but it's going a little bit slower this year. Us as a team, we're like really responsible for recruiting people. So as a men's team, we're supposed to be trying to get like 200 emails from freshmen.
Oh God.
Which is kind of a lot
That
if
is
you think
so
about
many.
it. Because like what's our class size? Like just over 1,000, right?
Yeah, but I mean, the new incoming freshman class is even bigger.
That's true.
Yeah.
But if like you cut that in half, that's around like 500, 600,
Okay,
which
true.
is like 200 is a big
200 is
number.
a lot of people.
Right.
That's a lot.
So
It's kind of unrealistic. Wow.
Yeah.
But like, I've seen you recruiting people, just like being with you.
Yeah, so we just kind of like pull people who are like taller, like we think have a like, builds or like would fit the bill. And so they'll go through the tryout process, and then we'll refine them down. We'll get them on like one of the erg machines. You've seen those machines.
There's just the
at
ones
gym.
where you go like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, the ones where you rip and stick. So we'll teach them how to get on those, and it'll be fun. We'll get some freshies,
That'll
some
be
fresh
fun.
faces. Yeah. For
So
sure.
you haven't been able to experience the paying it forward yet, but you
No.
will.
Yes,
Almost.
that's correct.
Okay,
We're
cool.
almost there.
Almost there. I know we're all so excited for the new, because like I just have this vision in my head where we send off like a full 8-person boat of just people who've never been in a boat before, and
That
they're
would be
just
sweet.
gonna crash and burn, and we can just watch them, and they're gonna learn so much from that first experience. Because like I remember that experience so vividly in my brain. So that's fun.
That'd be really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions that you wanted to ask?
No, I mean, that's all really impressive stuff.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot of work, and it's hard to balance, especially with like being in Seaver and being a science major as well.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, talk
Yeah,
about
sure.
science.
So I came into LMU as an undeclared science major,
Mm-hmm.
and I really have a passion for anatomy and physiology.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like what I do. And I took kind of the classes that just a normal Seaver major would take freshman year, or the first semester of freshman year. And then the second semester, I really wanted to get into the anatomy and physio class. So I talked to my counselor, and my counselor was like, well, it's major restricted, so I can't really let you in there. And I'm like, there's no way I can get in. And she's like, well, you can be health and human. And I'm like, I can? And she's like, yeah, you just kind of like sign here. So I literally just signed the document and became health and human sciences.
Wow.
Easy
Yeah.
as that.
So I think that's one of the biggest advantages of coming to like such a small private institution is that we can hop back and forth, and it's not hard to like
That's very
change
true,
majors,
yeah.
especially if it's in like your own respective college. Like if I'm switching into any other Seaver major, it's pretty easy for me, and all the courses like freshman year really line up.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So okay. So have you not taken midterm yet?
I actually that was a little point where I was frustrated. So I actually switched into midterm. I added it onto my first semester freshman year class. But I realized that my friends who also transferred from undeclared sciences to health and human, when they transferred the second semester, they talked to their counselors and they're like, well, you don't really have to take midterm if you don't want to take
Oh
midterm.
my god.
Wait, what's
Sucks.
midterm?
Medical terminology.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's like you just memorize a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, no. So I was under the assumption that it was going to be like shorthand, like because I took a sports med class in high school, and it's like C/O is like complaint of and things like that, and I'm
Okay.
like, oh, that's going to be easy. It's literally just learning like Greek roots of words.
Wait, what?
Wow.
It's basically just like prefixes and suffixes, so you can like if you see a very fancy medical term.
Oh, so you can understand it.
You can break it down and
Yeah.
understand it, which is helpful.
That's-
Like
that is
it's good to
helpful.
have, but it was literally just memorizing and memorizing and memorizing. But I mean that's what anatomy and physio is too.
Yeah.
So
True.
yeah,
So you're big on that.
big on that. A big anatomy physio
Big
guy.
anatomy guy.
Yeah.
And like later down the line, what are you gonna do?
Wonderful question. Absolutely great question. I'm getting that from my parents and my grandparents and everyone that I know. I don't know. I'm still kind of figuring things out, testing the waters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I honestly don't even know what direction I'm supposed to be going in. I'm even thinking about jumping ship and even going into like marketing or business, but
Oh God.
yeah.
With all those CR classes already under your belt.
I know, yeah. So it's a pretty tough major, but I mean, I enjoy what I do. So I'm just going to take classes that I like right now, and then hopefully a career path will kind of just emerge from them.
Yeah.
That's the hope.
That's the other thing that's great about this university is like if you get to know your faculty and professors like well enough, maybe they can point you in the right direction.
Oh yeah, for sure. There's a lot of strings that could be pulled.
Yeah.
Which is nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so you brought up your parents and your grandparents.
Let's talk about them.
Let's talk about your family.
Sure. So I'm from Northern California. So like, just like basically everyone else here, I'm from the Bay Area or whatever. So I'm like an hour east of San Francisco in a little town called San Ramon. Shout out to San Ramon. Shout out.
Do you know any other people here from San Ramon?
Actually, yeah. So my first class freshman year was chemistry, and so I mentioned San Ramon when I was just kind of introducing myself, and then like this girl just like turned her head, she whipped it around, and then she was like, "Oh my God, I'm from Danville." And San Ramon and Danville, we literally share a border. Okay. Like it's like I can walk.
And then you got
over
married.
the border.
And you're married.
Yeah. And now we're married. We have
that's
3
great.
kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
What are the kids' names?
The kids, we don't have kids. No, so she actually ended up being like one of my closest friends on campus.
Oh, yeah.
Camilla Roca.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's a really small world. We actually have like mutual friends who went to like, we went to different high schools, but we have mutual friends that kind of went to schools together. So
That's sweet. But your family.
yes,
Yeah.
sorry, we always get sidetracked. Yeah, so my family, I am half Korean and a quarter German and a quarter Irish. So my mother was born in Korea, and then she came over to the States when she was around 8 years old. And then my dad is just basically American. He's from here. He's from like Orange County. And then they met in optometry school.
Okay.
So
Romantic.
It's very romantic. Yeah, so it's nice. And then I have one older brother. He is 2 years older than me, and he just started at Cal Berkeley just like last week. So
Okay.
it's pretty fun.
Wait, older brother?
Yeah, so he took his first 2 years at like one of our local communities.
Okay.
And
Smart
then
move.
Yeah, and then he transferred into Berkeley.
Nice.
Which is
Dang,
really
good
cool.
for him.
Yeah, he's one of the smartest guys I know.
Damn.
What up, Josh Laubach? Shout out.
Name drop. So like, what's one of your favorite home cooked meals for like coming from a family of such like different backgrounds?
Yeah. Both of my parents are pretty good in the kitchen. My dad was, when he was going to optometry school in Orange County, he worked at Disneyland at the same time. So he was like a head chef for the Blue Bayou for like
seriously?
Yeah, he was like for 11 years. So
That's awesome.
yeah, so he's pretty good in the kitchen. My mom also is like, she's one of those cooks where like she'll like look at a recipe online and she'll like look at a couple and then she'll know what goes in it and then she'll literally just like whip it up.
Okay.
And like and she'll throw everything in a fridge. Like that she'll take stuff from the fridge and just throw it into like the dish, and she has no idea. Like she'll make it and it'll be this like beautiful home cooked meal. And she'll be like, you better enjoy it because I don't remember how I made it. So yeah, but as far as like a good home cooked meal, it gets pretty hot in Northern California as it does here as well. And there's this Korean, it's like a cold noodle soup, and it's called naengmyeon.
Okay.
And so my mom makes like her version of it, which is pretty good. And it's just kind of like an acidic cold broth that's with like noodles and like egg and kimchi, which is a very popular thing in Korea. And it's good, and like no one else can make it but my mom. Like she makes it in like such a specific way that you can't buy it from anywhere.
Okay, that's really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
All right, use code Laubach on Blue Apron.
Oh my god!
Purchase. That's not an actual code. Don't try to use that.
Don't try it. Blue Apron doesn't sponsor.
But, so you're also an RA. How's that been for you for the last week?
Being an RA was a little bit more hands-on than I thought it would be. Coming into it, it's just it's a much different job because you're like living in the place that you work with, right? And so like I'm always supposed to be there for residents, and I am, and like I always want to support them, but also it gets a lot. Like they text me whenever like they need to text me, and sometimes it can be a little bit much. So
oh god, what are they asking you?
just like everything. Like I work with freshmen. I'm in Delray North with Alex here. We're fellow coworkers. North. But a lot of them are like just typical freshman questions, like how do I put laundry like money on my car? And like where is the laundry room? I mean, they're still figuring things out, right?
Yeah,
a lot of them are like first time like fresh away from home.
Yeah,
so
they'll get there.
Yeah.
They'll get there. So hopefully like my role as an RA will be a little bit more intense the first part of the year, and then like once they start figuring out their own schedules and things like that, it'll loosen up.
Yeah, as is the case for most freshmen.
Yeah.
I would say in upper division, we record this podcast in Tendrick.
Yeah.
In upper division, I feel like it's like maybe even the opposite. I don't know.
I don't feel like I've ever talked to my RAs. I don't feel like anyone does.
Huh.
And point of reference, they're literally right across the hall
Yeah,
from
they
me.
are.
So
Yeah, like
that's-
less than 5 feet.
So that's how it is. Oh, by the way, do they really enforce the 24 quiet hours over here?
Oh, that's a good question.
I haven't gotten like yelled at or anything, but I
Okay.
haven't been too loud.
Okay.
So.
Have we been like louder than you've ever been in this podcast when we
No.
were talking about laundry?
I just think that if as long as you don't like blast music, I don't think they're gonna like knock on
Okay.
your door. Like
Okay.
I've been like having people over late at night and having music and stuff, but like I haven't gotten knocked on my door.
Okay.
Because sometimes I'll come back at like 1 a.m. and I'll hear like TVs blaring from their room.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
RA's rooms?
Yeah.
That's a direct policy violation.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they called view? No, they're listeners.
They're listeners.
Listeners.
All of them.
It's because they listen, not view.
How many views have you gotten on your first one?
So
So
we learned
Uh-huh.
the hard way that podcasts, to publish them on places like Spotify and iTunes, actually require paying.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
to get this thing called an RSS feed. You might have heard the term before.
Absolutely not.
Okay. And you need to purchase an RSS feed and have a website host your podcast, and then you like use that link and like share it with Spotify, and then they take directly from your RSS feed
I see.
and post it
Yeah.
onto that thing. So like they go pretty cheap,
Okay.
like $9 a month, which I mean split between us would be like $4.50 a month, but then like over a year,
Yeah.
that's a little more.
Yeah.
It's like 54, 52.
A little bit much for just this.
For just something
Small
that no one
operation.
listens to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we decided we're just gonna post it to YouTube for now.
Got it.
And like we might like try to find a show on KXLU because apparently it's not nearly as restrictive as we thought.
Yeah.
you could just post it on like SoundCloud.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
You can't. I don't think you can do that either.
No way.
Wait,
No, 'cause
everyone can post on SoundCloud.
Yeah, I
Like-
think SoundCloud's like a free
Okay.
kind of.
Well,
Yeah.
I'll try that then.
Yeah.
But like
SoundCloud.
SoundCloud is like because you can also the reason I'm questioning that is because you can also have an RSS feed on SoundCloud.
Oh, got it.
But maybe that's just
Maybe
like
you could just upload the audio file.
we'll see.
Yeah.
So for the YouTube videos, what's like the thumbnail?
It's literally just the picture. We have the picture here.
Which
actually.
one?
This is just Tales from the Bluff. That's
Very
just the
simple
thing. It's just a
picture.
still image for the
If you
whole
want to
like you
see it,
should-
go to our YouTube.
I feel like we should be taking a picture. And
of,
then,
of like the people here.
yeah, no,
every
of
podcast.
like your interviewer.
Of like you just going
interviewee.
like this.
No, not just me.
Yeah.
If you guys.
You know what we
too.
should do is we should take all the videos from your TikTok. and
Oh
then
my
play
lord!
that.
How do I do this? You said you want to be on my podcast, and I
Alex,
knew this
just
was
edit
gonna
the
come
audio
up.
as Tik-Tacs.
TikTok.
Oh, never mind.
Well, yeah, we'll just
Yeah.
with your permission, I'll download all of those videos
every
and just
single
TikToks.
one.
Put
just
them in the
play them
video.
on loop. Yeah.
Oh, that would be great. I would blow up.
Especially the one where you jump in the water. You want to
That's-
talk about that one a little bit?
Sure. So, I have a TikTok account, an ironic TikTok account, because I just
That's
think
what they
it's-
all say.
Stop. I think it's really funny how cringy they are.
Yeah.
And so like a big thing on TikTok is like there's like dances that kind of trend on like the little For You page or whatever.
Heard of them?
So I was like, sure, I'll like make this dance or whatever because I saw someone else do it and someone else do it, and I'm like, that kind of like looks easy, looks fun. So I was at my cousin's. It's called the Harbor House, and it's just basically like this kind of beach house that's on like the harbor of some ocean, probably the Pacific.
Yeah.
And so I was making a TikTok on the harbor or whatever, and there was these like little kids that were in like the neighboring kind of harbor on their dock, and so I'm like, it's okay, they're not gonna know what I'm doing, like they can't really see my camera, and I'm just gonna be just kind of dancing around, like it'll be fine. And they were splashing around, and I was doing my own thing, making my TikTok, and like literally one of them just screams, TikTok, and I'm like, oh great. And so they just kind of shattered every single ounce of confidence in my whole entire body.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was that after you had recorded the podcast? I mean, the podcast. The
TikTok.
You recorded the
It was
TikTok?
in between takes, so I really needed to do one more to really like get all those views.
And was that the one that you got?
Yeah.
Were you wearing a shirt?
I was diving in the ocean. I don't really wear shirts in the ocean. I don't know about you. So no.
So you were ironically shirtless.
I was. Yes, I was ironically shirtless for my ironic TikToks.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a really fun platform. Really, their algorithm makes it so like anyone can really blow up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of my really stupid videos has gotten like a decent amount of views,
Mm-hmm.
which is fun.
Yeah. How many followers do you have?
I mean, I'm not in it for the followers. I'm in it for the ironicness, for the friends in real life, like showing.
Yeah, showing other people that you
Yes.
created a TikTok.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Okay. Well, that's good.
Yeah. You've been featured in some of my TikToks.
Oh, wow.
I have, and you're the one that wrote the descriptions for those, so
I
you
did.
can talk about that.
Oh no, I just think it was really funny. And we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Okay. Everybody go to
what's,
this.
what, yeah,
Wait,
what
what's
is
your TikTok?
called?
TikTok, if you want to give me a follow, is burnt_toast103.
Where does that come from?
So I have this, my friend group in high school were pretty tight.
Uh-huh.
And so like, we did it, it's going to sound actually pretty bad on this podcast.
Uh-oh.
No.
But we're all different shades of darkness. So some of us are really pale. Some like I'm burnt toast because I'm like the most tan. And when I was in season for swimming and water polo, I would be very crisp. So one's like ghost toast, one's untoasted toast, one's toasted toast, and I'm burnt toast.
Okay.
Ah.
Well, there's nothing wrong with having a diverse group
Yeah.
of friends.
I guess so, but I mean, labeling us based on our colors is not an acceptable thing. It's
That is an interesting thing.
Yeah.
I was like, I hope like he didn't have a stroke.
Nope.
No
stroke.
Yeah. Is that like the thing that they say about?
About what?
We're cutting this part out of the podcast.
We're cutting the whole
We're
podcast.
cutting the whole podcast.
That's it.
I don't know. Episode 1, Jake Laubach. It's just the introduction. Would you look at He said, I'm Jake, I'm a blah, 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 and then just, thanks for listening, guys. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Man. That's a, do you want to tell the story of this picture that we took?
If the
Yeah.
audience can see it.
Yeah.
'Cause
We'll
all of
put the
audience-
thumbnail, we'll put that picture in the video at this point.
Got it. Refer to this picture here. I'm the one sitting on top of the lifeguard tower on the left in the orange hoodie.
And I'm on the right of
That's
that.
right, and that's Alex. This was during our training. We kind of had like a fun little beach trip between all of the RAs in training. And this picture is every like RA, all the staff of Delray North. So that's me and Alex. Maybe not all the staff on Delray North. Maybe there's one particular member that we should blur their face because
we'll do
they're
that. We'll just
not-
blur everyone's faces except for ours.
Okay,
Obviously.
great. Sounds great. But yeah, it was a really fun time at the beach. It was really, I actually liked training a lot because everyone who's RAs are like, they're RAs because of like their personalities and because they're people. So it was really fun. That was a fun beach trip.
And then we got told that we weren't supposed to be on top of it.
Yes. Well, I mean, the lifeguard, he came over and he's like, are you supposed to be on top of the
I think the direct question was, where do you think this has gone too far? And
okay.
We were just like, right about here. And he's like,
Yeah.
yep, could you please come down? And we did.
Yeah. And then we got arrested, went to jail.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
for a little while.
Yeah, just a bit.
Just a little bit.
I mean,
Did some
we only
time.
missed one day of RA training.
Yeah. It was a fun time though.
Don't
It was
go-
a fun time. I
Don't
remember.
climb. Don't climb.
Don't climb.
How are your hands? Good, healed?
What?
Yeah, they're good actually.
Yeah.
How are yours
What's wrong
doing?
from climbing?
Oh.
I remember what I was talking
I
about
have
last week.
I have like band-aids and things, like actual real band-aids.
Okay, I'm good.
You poor thing.
Thanks for touching my hand for that amount of time.
No problem.
Yeah, climbing's great. I actually, when I was camping this weekend,
I don't think you gave the context of anything.
Yeah, no, you just
went straight
you
into
just
climbing.
touched
It's
your
no,
great.
it's funny. I was re-listening to the podcast.
Yeah.
Like 3 times I said, "Oh, we'll talk about climbing later," and we never did.
talked about it.
Climbing is a great sport.
Everyone knows
Ooh.
what climbing is.
Yeah, but has everyone done it?
pretty.
I feel like a lot of people have climbed things.
Wouldn't it
Like lifeguard towers, for example.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. But I've been recently going with a group of people, some other RAs, to the climbing gym Hangar 18, which is like not even that far. It's like 20 minutes from campus.
Yeah.
And I hear they're building a new one.
No way.
Yeah, but like, you know, when you climb, I mean, there is like some degree of upper body strength involved, but one of the biggest parts is like your grip strength and your hand strength.
Yeah.
And like, I mean, you can have a really strong hand strength, but still like the texture of the rocks that you're grabbing onto as you're bouldering, which is mostly what I do. It's like when you don't have a harness or like a set, anything. Like it really, really grates on your hands, like especially if you slip off. So the reason I brought up our hands is because both of us have just like some pretty big like calluses and tears just where the skin just came off. And it's really gross.
Yeah. And they burn for the first couple of days.
Especially like if you put on like soap or hand sanitizer. It's just like the worst sensation ever.
Oh yeah.
Climbing's really fun though.
Climbing is super fun. We should definitely go back.
Everybody join us.
Everyone come along.
Every single person that's listening to this.
Well, I mean, there's only 3 of us.
We'll plan a trip.
Make sure to leave a like.
Video gets negative likes.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, but like I went on a camping trip this weekend.
Yes, I was gonna ask how that went.
And you know I went on a camping trip this weekend.
And that was it.
And that's it. That's it.
We
Alright,
went
awesome.
on a trip.
It was great. So there was I'd never like gone like climbing like actually outside of the gym, and there was this one boulder that literally I swear pretty much had like this exact shape of like handholds that you see at a climbing gym on it. It was like the perfect boulder for climbing.
But this is a real.
This is like a real boulder. So it's like
a
if you
rock.
fall, you die.
Like Mother Nature.
Yeah, but it wasn't that high. It was like maybe 3 times. It was like 18 feet tall.
Wow.
I mean, if you're
maybe shorter than that.
if you're dropping from 18
14.
feet,
But the
onto
thing is,
other
it was like
boulders,
the farthest drop that you would make was maybe 8 feet because everything past that was like pretty sloped. So it was safe to climb. But I brought a couple of my friends with me. We just climbed it and we named it Dimitri. But it was really fun because like that was my friend Tulsi's idea. We were all in Creare.
Name drop.
Name drop. Tulsi Shah, great person.
Shout out to Creare.
Shout out to Creare. But yeah, it was just fun. Like actually conquering like something like in the real world that isn't like doesn't have like a climbing map beneath it, even though we probably should have, honestly.
Yeah.
Was pretty gratifying. I was like, dang, this is actually really fun.
Huh.
But that was cool. And then like the whole point of like a retreat is to just like be like very vulnerable with your people. So I'm not gonna like speak too much about that because like obviously for the sake of confidentiality, which is something I'm already used to.
Something we're very used to.
One thing that really was bad was the bathrooms. Like the outhouses, they were nasty.
Oh, yikes.
And I only used it once because the first time I was like, by the time I came out of that, I was like, I need a Purple Heart this moment. Because literally, no. So there was already so many wasps. Wasps.
Maybe
Yeah.
that's the sound that wasps make.
Yeah. That's what Visco wasps make. They go.
Oh my lord.
There was already so many, but you go into the bathroom and they're flying everywhere. Out of the toilet. Out of the toilet, which is like one of those normal like outhouse toilets, which just kind of goes down. Having like your pants down and then wasps
flying up towards your arsehole.
Yep. That was probably one of the most unpleasant things I've ever gone through. And
Sure.
honestly, putting that into perspective, that's not even that bad. But it was...
It seems pretty bad.
That seems like a nightmare.
It was a nightmare, but I'm saying there are people that have much less fortunate lives than I do.
Okay.
So that was...
You're gonna compare this outhouse situation to like kids who are starving in
Africa? I'm saying quite the opposite. I'm saying like I'm probably making too big of a deal out of it.
Got it.
But it was still pretty terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds very terrifying.
Yeah. So we're gonna do that after this, right?
Oh, all of us together.
Mm-hmm. All in the same room at the same time.
Sounds like a wonderful
It was
time.
great. Cut that out of the podcast.
Snip, snip.
I'm trying to think. So David, you were talking about your Chinese class earlier.
Oh God.
Oh whoa.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I didn't even know that this school offered
For Chinese.
Chinese.
Yeah.
And I just want to know like what that's been like and like something that you've learned recently.
Oh God, it's kind of tough, honestly. Like, I'm not like fluent in any other languages.
Sure.
So like approaching Chinese is very interesting because it's just I have to learn all these new like, not just like words and like symbols and stuff, but like the characters.
Yeah.
They're
Mhm.
all unique, and I have to like learn all those eventually. But even like right now, we're just learning like pinyin, which is like a romanization of like Chinese characters.
Mm-hmm.
That's really tough because there's different tones for the words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like a word that can be said slightly different but means something completely different.
Oh my goodness.
So it's just so tough to like get those down pat because
Mhm.
it's really just like the inflection of your voice.
Yeah.
Which is the difference. So
Huh.
it's like pretty challenging.
That's interesting. And you have like no prior Chinese
No prior
knowledge
Chinese.
at all.
No.
Can I
It's
ask
so
like
tough.
why? Like why?
I don't know.
No. I mean, it's a pretty cool language. I would
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I just want to challenge myself a little bit
say. Yeah.
to see how it goes.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Knowing Chinese would be pretty dope.
It would be, yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be helpful because
Mhm.
that's like
That's a pretty good like business language to know.
Oh yeah.
it's
for
also
sure.
like what is it like a seventh of the world population speaks that.
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
pretty
yeah.
big, pretty large.
Pretty big.
Yeah.
Like, there's like different like types of Chinese, right?
Mhm.
Chinese for the most part has been pretty standardized, but there
Mhm.
are definitely like regional dialects and
Mhm.
stuff between
Yeah.
the regions. But there's also sort of like kind of like regional languages of Chinese.
Mhm.
Just sort of like someone speaking like in northern China versus like central China, their accents will be a little different, but they'll probably mostly be able to understand each other. But then there are like sort of other versions of Chinese which
Yeah.
are a lot different in the way just how the words are like
Mhm.
completely pronounced and
Yeah.
spelt. And those are sort of like the southern regions more.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But the thing is, most Chinese is Mandarin. But like still, if you ever go to China, it's gonna be different wherever you go for
Yeah.
the most part, which is gonna
Yeah.
be really
And
tough.
that's just so interesting because like
Yeah.
what you were saying about saying a word slightly differently.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It changes the meaning completely. Like, how does that even work with like regional dialects and like
It's
different
it's
accents?
probably crazy. That's
Yeah.
why like until recently, like China didn't like people thought of Chinese as just like one singular language,
Yeah.
and like back in like the 19th century, people couldn't understand each
No.
other. It was like the difference between like French and Italian and stuff, like between Cantonese
Yeah.
and like Mandarin in the north. Like there's just no similarities. Well, some similarities,
Yeah.
but like it's different enough where it was not mutually intelligible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Dang. So like, I mean, it just seems like such a complex language to learn.
Yeah.
And it like, what does the pacing of the class look like? Like,
Oh,
are
God.
you gonna learn how to like read all these symbols by the time you're out of the class?
I don't think I'm gonna learn all of them.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
think they're trying to push a lot on you for the first Chinese
Sure.
one because
Yeah.
they want you to have a strong base.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So like it's just gonna be a lot of work.
A ton of
feel
work.
Like it's gonna be a lot of. I mean, I just gonna learn so much, like
Mhm.
so many phrases and just like how the language like is basically structured.
Yeah.
It just
Yeah.
it's tough. I mean, like I've already had to do a few homeworks and I'm not too great on them.
Mm.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. And then there are other people in my class, and we're like, we gotta form a study group, or we're all gonna fail.
Oh yikes.
So,
I
yeah.
actually, in high school, I was fortunate enough my high school offered the Korean language.
Mhm.
And the history of it's really cool.
Yeah.
So the way it worked is like we were saying, Chinese and just like Mandarin or any other kind of
Mhm.
Chinese dialect is very difficult to learn and very difficult to pick up.
Yeah.
So the first Korean king,
Mhm.
King Sejong, he created the Korean language to like make it easier. So
Mhm.
it's basically a version of Chinese that he made easier so people wouldn't be illiterate.
Interesting.
Ah.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What
so
a-
Koreans
what a guy.
actually what a
Name
what a
drop.
man. Name drop.
Great
King
guy.
Sejong.
Name
Yeah.
drop.
So it's really cool. The language itself is actually really easy. Like there's only 13 consonants and like a handful of vowels, and if you put them together, it makes a sound, and that's the only sound it can make. So as
That's
long as you
nice.
have like,
Yeah.
as long as you memorize that like small little group of consonants and vowels,
Mhm.
like once you know those, you can read any piece of Korean literature.
Mhm.
Like you're not going to be able to like
Understand
know
it
what it
fully.
says,
Yeah.
You can read it.
right? But you can
Yeah.
read it, yeah. So it's a pretty fun time, and I think that little piece of history is like a really cool, interesting
Yeah.
factoid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you like have any prior experience with the Korean language before you joined those classes because of your
Yeah,
like,
your
mom's
heritage.
side?
Not really. So my
Okay.
mom retained some of her Korean knowledge. Like
Mhm.
she's conversational and she
Mhm.
can speak things like that. But For me, like, I only knew a couple of words. I knew, like, grandma and grandma and grandma and grandpa.
Those are it.
Just like grandma. No, so I only knew a couple, but the way the class worked, which was a little bit rigged, is that students who were born in Korea, like with Korean parents, and like speak the language very fluently at home, they would be in the same classes as me, and they would take like Korean 1, and like that would literally be like half to 75% of the class.
Oh my god.
So the teacher kind of, I don't want to say that she taught at that pace, but it was hard not having any knowledge beforehand. Yeah, but I mean, the language itself is really easy, and I'm fortunate enough that like my older brother also took the class before me, and then like my mom was there to help me with Korean things. And it changed the whole entire relationship that I had with my Korean grandparents, because they speak some English, but it's definitely like their preferred language is Korean. And my brother and I on my mom's side, on their Korean side, we're like the youngest Korean cousins, and we're like the only ones that know Korean. And we're the least Korean out of all of them, which is kind of funny. But it's created a bond it's like broken that cultural barrier between me and my grandparents. And so it's really nice to be able, like my grandpa texts me in Korean.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah,
Wow.
so it's pretty cool. Yeah.
So, like, I've seen this before, and I think I did this with Japanese for a little bit because I was like trying to learn on Duolingo. But like, you pretty much have like a normal QWERTY keyboard, right?
Yeah.
But you just type in the combination of the consonant and the vowel, and it like creates the symbol, right?
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I think I've seen like a couple of like the Chinese keyboards where like you actually have to write it out, and then like it like digitizes what you write.
Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah, I got the simplified one, and if you have to type out the pinyin, and then it gives you like all these options of characters you can choose from.
Oh
and I'm
no.
like, how the hell does anyone do this?
Yeah, I'm so curious what like their computers look like. Like, what are their keyboards?
I think they type in pinyin. I
Oh
think.
my
I don't
goodness.
think
They have to, like, choose?
I have like keyboards similar to this, but I'm not sure.
Okay, now we're searching Chinese keyboard on Google.
Because I don't think it's physically
keyboard.
possible to have a keyboard with
What
all
if
the
we just get
characters.
keyboards made in China?
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Oh wow, they have like a bunch
my
of.
goodness.
So it's like, you know how sometimes like think about.
Wait, look at this one.
Oh,
That one's crazy.
oh my god.
My goodness
So we're just looking at like a keyboard that's pretty much like 3 times the size of a normal keyboard, and it like, oh my god.
They have all different symbols.
That looks like an insane one.
Yeah, if you want to join back home, you can search Chinese
Google
keyboard.
Chinese
But like
keyboards.
to describe it, like if you think about how like the number buttons on a normal like a US keyboard have like their, if you press shift it gives you a different symbol. Like each key essentially has 4 different symbols. And I don't even know how you would begin to like
I don't know, man.
type like that. I mean,
Yeah.
these might not be like the most accurate representations, but still like it speaks
It's a lot.
volumes about like how difficult that is.
Yeah.
So dang.
Shout out,
That's fake. That has to be fake.
No.
It's just a big circle.
yeah. Shout out to our Chinese followers.
Hmm
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, guys.
Ooh.
Um,
That's pretty cool. I literally did not even know that
Yeah.
LMU offered Chinese as a class.
They don't offer Korean. I look because
Oh,
it's
really?
a little easier to learn. I heard.
Yeah, Korean's really nice. to
you're
pick
a
up.
big fan of K-pop.
Yeah, I like K-pop.
No
so
way.
I was like, I should learn like Korean, but then I didn't have it.
Hmm
Yeah, K-pop's so good. All of our audience listen to K-pop.
Oh my gosh, who's like your favorite group?
Favorite group? I don't know. That's tough. I just bought some the Blackpink's album.
Oh,
Because I was at
sure.
K-Town yesterday,
Oh,
and
fun.
so I went to a
Nice.
few stores.
Nice.
I didn't have it, so I was like, I need to buy it. But it's
Yeah.
like so expensive. But
Yeah.
I mean, I started working on campus, so I got money finally.
Oh, nice. Very
So,
cool.
yeah.
Where do you work on campus?
The library.
Oh, nice. Just
Mm.
kind of like doing books. And
Yeah. No, I work at the
library.
desk at the front.
Oh, the information
Yeah.
desk.
Not the circulation one.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
I always ask the information desk for expo pens.
Do they just give them to you?
Well, for the study room.
Okay, so
Yeah.
they don't. Oh, right.
They
Oh,
can get
yeah,
it,
right.
Yeah.
Because you need a pen to write on the
Mhm.
walls.
You know, it was whoever's idea it was to put the garbage can right underneath the wire basket that holds the expo markers was so stupid. Like every time I go into one of those rooms, I move the garbage can somewhere else because I'm like, next time you put an expo marker in here, it's gonna get accidentally thrown
Yeah.
away and taken out by
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
It's okay. Our school has a lot of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
A lot of expo markers to be bought.
I don't think they spend our money well. Maybe not spend, like they're bad at planning things.
I mean, they blew how much on our new logo?
3 million.
So I mean like Yeah.
Which I'm still
I
not
think-
completely understanding where exactly that money went to. Like, it doesn't take a whole lot
I
for
know,
a graphic
right?
design student
they
to
could've
whip
did-
up an ugly
Well,
lion.
here's what I think is what I think is like they have the new giant lion head on Malone, on the side
Sure.
of Malone.
Yeah.
If you're in Lawton Plaza, and like literally everywhere you go, even down to like the cardboard garbage cans, like they've changed the logo on like everything. No,
I don't think, but
They
their cost
really-
was like.
I'm just saying, like, think about how much money it would cost to literally do a complete overhaul of every single logo, like, on campus.
There's so many logos of the
Yeah,
old logo on
there
campus
still is.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, but they did redo our whole entire basketball court, right?
oh, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, no.
I haven't
so-
been in there. Yeah.
So they redid the whole entire court, and now it has palm trees on it, which is like LA, but also it's like
a little weird.
a little weird.
Yeah.
Where's
I mean-
the mouse? Oh.
Like, I think maybe the environmental club probably said something about like not changing the logo on the.
We're at 15 minutes already.
Okay.
We need to probably end
Yeah,
it soon.
we'll wrap it
Yeah.
up soon. I just like to touch on this, like
Mhm.
you know those ones that have like the waste and like the bottles and cans and like
Yes.
the paper?
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
it would be completely against like sustainability to like create new ones of
Oh,
those.
yeah,
So I'm pretty
definitely.
sure Environmental Club was like, don't change the logo on these ones.
On
Which
the,
is-
just on the garbage cans.
well, you know how they have like the LMU
Well,
Mine
yeah,
LA,
yeah.
like they changed that. Like it's different now. I'm
Well,
pretty
I know,
sure.
but like just changing the trash cans. I mean, they're changing so many other
I
things.
know.
What's special about the trash cans?
is that they're like
environmentally?
about environmental stuff. So that would be like a big like spit on the
It's just
spit
kind of
on
like
the face of
ironic.
the people
Yeah.
who advocated for that. Yeah.
Exactly.
I see.
Especially since they have those stickers that say like this was made of like 100,000 milk
Oh.
cartons.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about? Okay, so we are sort of reaching like the end of this podcast.
can't
don't
talk forever.
Yeah, we don't want to be here forever.
Of course not.
And I mean, even though it's like it's been 50 minutes for us, it's probably based on how much stuff we've touched,
5
been about
minutes.
5 minutes for the
Yeah,
listeners.
I know.
But we are trying to start this new like segment on the podcast
Mhm.
where, because I did this last week, sort of
Sure.
unintentionally.
Yeah.
We're gonna ask our guests like what the weirdest dream that they've ever had is, and like
my goodness.
and like how it's stuck with them, and so just
talk
using
about
that
your
prompt,
dreams.
just give us like a weird dream,
Yeah.
and maybe get a little closer to the mic so that the people
Yeah.
can hear you clearly.
Sure. We can get a little intimate here.
That's great.
ASMR.
ASMR.
Let's do this.
Maybe not my absolute weirdest dream, but I had one where I woke up in my dorm, and at this time I was a freshman, so I was living
this
in.
was recently. Okay.
Yeah, so I was living in Rosecrans, and
Shout out.
Rosecrans, name drop. And I woke up and there was like bird droppings on my like comforter, and I'm like, that's kind of weird. And so I kind of like, I'm looking around, I'm browsing around, and there's like this movement coming from under my comforter where I'm still like laying down in bed, and I'm like, I have no idea what this is. Like, I'm gonna go check it out. And so like I poke around at it, and it's like this. It's just, I don't see what it is. It's just like this black figure that like zooms across the room. And at this point, I was living right across the hall from one of my best friends, and his name's Lorenzo Lozardi. Shout out
Shout
Lorenzo.
out.
Wait, he lived in
Lozardi.
Rosecrans?
Yeah.
Why did I not know this?
I didn't even know Lozo.
He also lived
Yeah.
in Rosecrans last
What?
year.
Yeah.
No way. Very cool. Anyway, so this like black
Rosecrans
Re- reunion.
reunion. I like that.
We'll get Cezanne on the next
Oh
one.
god. Do we want Cezanne?
Okay, continue with your dream.
Yeah, so this mysterious black animal figure thing zoomed out of my room and zoomed straight into Lorenzo's room.
Mm-hmm.
And so I barge into his room, and he's sitting on top of his bed, and I look over, and like Lorenzo, like you know what he looks like.
Yeah.
He has a pretty long flow of hair. I look over, just completely bald. Completely bald. And I remember saying out loud to him, I'm like, Lorenzo, we don't have time to talk about your hair. We need to find out like what happened. And then I think I just kind of woke up.
What?
Yeah, and that was it.
Oh.
Okay, something that, okay. I was reminded of something that somebody told me. I don't think this is, yeah, maybe move this a little closer to me. Speaking of things moving underneath your bed in Rosecrans,
Uh-oh.
did you hear about this?
What?
Shut
up.
Apparently,
Don't tell me.
apparently somebody had an entire spider's nest in their bed.
Whoa! Oh wait, I think I
Yeah.
heard about this.
So like literally they like would every night they'd like feel they would get like bites and they're like, oh, this is like normal, whatever. But they found it like there's a hole. And they're like, oh, I should probably get this checked by FM, right? Because there's like
Shut
their whole like
up.
room inventory
Oh
thing that
my
you're supposed to
God.
submit.
In the mattress?
Yeah, FM checks, they open it up, spider's nest. Bunch of spiders crawl out. I'm like, what the?
What
oh,
the
is that
fuck?
disgusting? I mean, I wasn't there. But
I feel violated.
I know, it makes me, it literally makes me like shudder thinking
I'm gonna
of
go
that.
check my mattress.
Seriously,
Literally
right?
right
Honestly,
now.
recommend
That's
that.
disgusting. But you know, like, have you?
How did the RAs miss that? Is my question. Because we were supposed to do like a...
Well, yeah, but I'm sure it started as like a small hole,
Yeah.
Oh
and
my
then there was
God.
babies.
Still, ugh.
Ah.
But I've asked you if you've gotten mosquito bites, right? Like not.
No.
On oh, have I not had this
Well,
conversation
I've gotten
with
mosquito
you?
bites before,
No,
for
yeah,
sure.
for sure. But like in my dorm, I'm like sleeping and waking up with these bites. And I don't think they're spider bites. I think they're mosquito bites. And I saw one flying around my room in the morning.
Okay.
And I'm like, this little... So I literally took I took my shoe and I smacked it on the wall and it popped with all of my blood in it. And I'm like, you greedy little mother. So like, I have mosquitoes.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know where they're coming from. Like, I guess I keep my window open, but my screen is screened.
And why would they fly that high?
I don't
Don't
know.
they usually stay how low to the ground do mosquitoes fly?
They also just
don't
like
know.
water. Don't they like bodies of water?
Yeah.
They do.
Ocean?
Dude. Okay. On this topic of things in like our dorms, my roommate thought he had bed bugs because he was getting these like these red like little
Oh,
clusters on
God.
his legs, and he was like freaking out about it. But turns out he just had shingles.
Oh! Whoopsies. Not bed bugs.
On that
we
uh,
note...
can get him to talk about it.
Oh, yeah. He was making coffee
Connor.
earlier.
Come talk about your shingles.
Ironically, scoffs. Scoffs at the shingles.
It's a relief though, because I thought we had bed bugs.
Yeah, that would be bad.
Yeah. I was ready to burn all my stuff.
Just throw out the whole entire
Yeah.
dorm.
That'd be great. I'd do
Just
it.
set the whole dorm on fire, honestly.
That's right.
Okay,
Just move whole schools.
our much anticipated returning guest Connor is here to talk about his
Yeah.
shingles.
Come talk
It's
about
not
it.
like a weekly segment, right?
It's when Connor comes out of his room and talks distantly from the microphone.
Here, I'm gonna pull up.
He was also in
Yeah.
Rosecrans last year, so...
Yeah.
I thought he looked familiar.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm Jake, by the way.
Connor.
Connor,
Nice to
Jake.
meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You want to hear about
All right,
my
thanks for being
shingles?
here, No.
How about your
Yeah,
shingles?
let's talk about your shingles.
Wednesday morning, I woke up with a bunch of like rashes on my legs, and I woke up with more on Thursday morning, and I thought they were bed bugs at first, which was terrifying. And then I woke up with more on Friday, and so I put in a pest control order, and then I was like, I should probably go to the doctor too. So I went to the doctor. The doctor was like, no, that's shingles, like immediately.
Oh,
And my only knowledge of shingles was in high school. My video productions teacher had shingles, but he had them on his head, and he was out for like 3 months. And he still is recovering because the nerve pain in his head was causing him
Holy
like
shit.
like brain issues and stuff.
Scooting away.
No, but it's just because like the skin under the rashes and blisters.
Yeah.
It's a nerve driven disease or illness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like my leg is in a ton of pain right now. My back's in a ton of pain.
Oh,
Oh
God.
my gosh.
But yes, the doctor was like, because it's only on my right side, so he was showing me like diagrams how it like goes up from your leg to your back, and it's
Yeah.
on like a very particular strip.
Yeah.
If you guys want to see it. Too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks.
yeah, I got that Friday. I have to take pills for a week, and then it's painful. It's one of them. Yeah, it's on my back, my butt, my thigh.
Let's see it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, do we get to see those parts
Oh, hello. Viewers back home. Ooh, you don't get to get this.
It goes further down, but I won't. I won't show you
Disadvantages of
that.
being a listener. That's...
And yeah, it's been a good time.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
for sharing.
Also, the pest control people still came.
Yeah.
They came
Oh,
like Saturday
no.
morning, and it was just.
They came into our apartment.
Yeah, they literally they can get into our
Yeah.
apartments.
we
No, they do.
we
So
heard,
they
like,
literally came in. They were like shouting, like, "Connor."
and they knocked on
Yeah,
our door.
yeah.
And then we were both kind of waking up, and we were like,
"What's going on?"
fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, FM does that too.
That's true.
Like if you submit a work order request, they'll come in and they'll fix it.
But I got like the confirmation the night before that was saying it was canceled. So I was like, bro, like,
Oh, so,
It's
so there's some
canceled.
miscommunication there.
yeah.
Okay.
And he was
Interesting.
cool about it. He was
Right.
probably like, I'm getting paid anyway.
Yeah,
I don't
That's,
Yeah.
that is what they paid for.
Oh, that was the other thing about my shingles. The guy
okay.
was like,
tell me more, please.
yes. the doctor was like, most people under 50 don't get shingles. And I was like, sick. And he was like, that's the worst I've ever seen. And like, I keep waking up with more.
Oh, yikes.
And so it's like, it's got to be like the extreme worst he's ever seen now. And he was like taking pictures like very high up my thigh. And
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it was very uncomfortable.
Yeah, I imagine so. So now we've essentially created two different segments. One where you share your dreams, and one where Connor comes on and talks about how fucked up his body is.
Yo,
because last week you were talking about fruits and fruits that you were allergic to.
We do a whole show. Kind of add on to that. So that I had the same doctor.
Okay.
Freshman year here, I went to the health services in the first few days, and I had the same doctor this time too. And yeah, my introduction to the health services was a testicle injury.
Oh, yikes.
And they had a graduate student in there too, and they were like, he's just observing today. And I've definitely seen that guy around campus.
Oh, no!
Multiple times.
That's terrible.
I was like, okay. Wow. Sure, you can check it all out, man.
Go ahead, get in there.
Get in, yeah.
Soak
Take
it
a
all
look.
up.
Every time I walk by him, he gives me a high five.
Oh, yeah.
Me, I'm like, yeah.
Really? No, absolutely not.
That would have been funny.
That would be pretty funny.
Yeah.
It's a great relationship to start with someone. Well, I can't wait to hear about every shingle thing that's wrong with you.
Yeah, I'll update you next week on how they're doing.
How long have you been working on that?
I've been thinking about it for at least the past 15 seconds. Well, thank you for sharing, Connor.
Yeah,
we really appreciate that.
Best of luck with the rest of the podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're coming to a
We're
close.
ending it, basically.
What a great ending.
Yeah. Thank you, Connor.
You got it.
And
nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you to our listeners for bearing with us for this long. Is there anything that you want to plug?
This has been our ASMR channel. Thanks for watching, and I hope you have a restful night.
It's a great.
Good night.